Welcome. Hey Sylvia. Hey Benjamin. Hey people, say hi. Gonna share this, let some people join. I would love to know how you're feeling. Yes, very interesting topic. I've got a lot to say today. Very interesting topic. Hey Tracy. All right. Yep. Thanks, Benjamin. So, how are we all? How is everybody today? Please tell me how you're feeling. Because I've got lots to say. I'm sure that I've done a live stream on this sort of a topic before, calling people out on their bullshit. So if you're an indigo, you're feeling great. Yay, Tracy. Yeah, I've been feeling really good too. I've been feeling on top of the world. Kylie's been feeling really emotional. Okay, cool. I personally have been really emotional today. And it's very interesting to my why. So this morning, if you've seen on my story, this morning I filmed Lightfilled Yoga for the Throat Chakra. So if you have been following me, there's, I come down from the chakras, come down from the top and work our way down. And I'm filming the Lightfilled Yoga series, and that's 9 specific yoga classes about the, the chakras. And there's a specific Lightfilled Yoga sequence for each of those chakras, right? Now, it's gonna be all right. Yeah, no, I'm emotional, but what, okay, I'm just gonna tell my story because this is how, I guess, emotions work. It's how the next level consciousness works. It's how, funnily enough, I wrote a blog yesterday on the iceberg, right? And that when you are, you're going along great, and then, it's like, okay, cool, well, you can ready to deal with this next thing, right? And that's why stuff comes up then, right? Because we're at a level to then, be ready to deal with it. So with Jay, with my videographer, and we filmed the Lightfilled Yoga for the throat, and we started filming the chakras back in December last year, and we just finalized and finished the third eye a couple of weeks ago. We'd filmed ears ages ago, and and then all this stuff, and then we managed to film throat this morning, and it's like bang, it was just so quick, easy, done, straight to the truth, right? And we were discussing after we filmed it this morning, and it was exactly what I was talking about in the Throat Chakra Lightfilled Yoga class, when I'm teaching it. It's not only, and I was actually talking about this on live stream yesterday, so it's very prominent at the moment, right? It's like when we are blocked in our throat chakra, which most of society is, it cuts us off from our heart. Now, our heart is where we authentically feel, right? Now, a lot of us are scared to speak our truth because somewhere along the line, we got told off, or we got told to not say that sort of thing, or we got shut down in whatever way, shape or form. And to feel accepted by those caregivers, mainly usually our, mother, father, or some other main caregiver when we're a child, to make sure we still receive the love from them, because that's our survival mechanism when we're a child, we stop that aspect of ourselves and we close it down, right? So what that does, it creates a blockage in the throat, and the heart also closes, because the heart, is, you know, full of love, but if it's not feeling loved in that way because they said that, well, then they'll close that down and, oh, I better not show that part of myself because that's not acceptable, right? So when I was talking about, you know, when talking about the throat chakra, and like I said, I was talking about this yesterday too, that it's, you know, why I'm so passionate about coming down from the crown down into the body is because we can, you know, we're reaching up to spirit and we're up there. Well, actually, you know, like, it's like, well, we need to be grounded in our bodies, you know, spirit is us, universe is us, universe is us, we are universe, you know, like what came first, chicken or egg, we don't know, right? And you've been speaking the truth all week. Yeah, it's throat chakra consciousness. So, you know, I know a lot of you followers at the moment are very new to me, in a sense of Lightfilled Yoga new to me. So Lightfilled Yoga and, you know, working through each chakra is very, very powerful in, you know, awakening, clearing out and stepping into that consciousness, because every single chakra has a particular consciousness, right? And the throat is all about, yes, speaking the truth, but most importantly, living the truth. So you've all heard the saying, there's a lot of, you know, people who talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk. Why is that? Because they talk the talk, they know it up here, but they're cut off here, so they don't actually walk the talk. So it's very much around, you know, like, they know it and everything, but when it comes to being authentic, right, and if you're blocked at your throat chakra, that heart isn't given a space to be authentic, because we've got to shut that part of us down because, oh, that's not accepted, so I'll close that down. And then we put on these falsehoods because we want to be accepted by this person, right? Happens in every single relationship if you're not clear about it, yeah? Every single relationship, it's like, oh, better not say that, or better, you know, close that down. And so we close this down, and eventually we're like just living up in here and like, oh, it's fine. But then we've got all these physical body issues going on because the energy's not coming down. Our soul's not actually housed in our body, and our physical body is trying to go, hey, you're going to wake up now, right? So in calling people out on their bullshit, as an indigo, as an indigo, that's what indigos do. They call people out on their bullshit. Children, they call people out on their bullshit. It is very, very clear, and that's why we get told, oh, don't say that, because you trigger whoever is, you know, you're calling the bullshit out on them, right? I'm speaking the truth, exactly right. Yeah, it is exactly right. And it is, yeah, and it's feeling great not holding things in. Now, there's a way to speak compassionately. There's a way that you don't even have to say a word, because people know that they've done, not that they've done wrong, and it's not about, oh, they're wrong and you're right. It's not about that. It's about when you're cut off from the heart and, you know, and you shut parts of yourself down, you're not living authentically. You're not speaking authentically. You might do all the amazing, you know, things, but if you're not actually walking the talk, if you're not putting into practice what you preach in your every single day-to-day life, not when you're just on live stream, not when you're just, you know, writing blogs, not when you're just doing all this stuff, if you're not living it in your day-to-day life, when you're down the shops, when you bump into people, when you're all of that, then how is that walking the talk? How is that living your truth? Because if you're not allowing that truth to come down, well, then your heart's not being authentic. You're closed off in whatever, you know, way. So, you know, and that's just exactly what I spoke about on the Lightfilled Yoga for the throat chakra this morning. The most common and prominent example on the planet is when someone asks you, oh, how are you feeling? Oh, yeah, good. And actually been fucking crying all day, right? Or you're really sad because your boyfriend just broke up with you, but oh, yeah, I'm good. It's like, can you just feel what that feels like, just trying to hold that heart down? Like, no wonder people have heart attacks, because they can't speak the truth, right? About how they're really feeling. That really hurt my feelings, actually, right? So with the throat chakra this morning, after we filmed, and we're like, oh, that was easy. I was like, wow, it's really time for throat chakra, and then moving into heart chakra, right? So we're kind of, you know, and I always say when we're working on a chakra, we're also working on the next chakra too, because you know, when you open this one, then it allows the energy to flow into the next one, right? And I was feeling it straight away, you know, as soon as we finished filming. I was just like, oh, I got stuff going on. Like, I could feel it, and I named 3 specific things that have kind of hurt my heart in the past, you know, 3 months. And, you know, and I was like, oh, I didn't realize that was actually sitting in my heart, yeah? Like, yeah, I've dealt with it, but I obviously haven't dealt with the remnants of what's sitting in my heart, right? Because as soon as we finish throat chakra, well, the throat's clear now. Okay, let's drop into the heart. So it was just like really interesting to kind of note that. And, you know, the thing is with, you know, calling people out on their bullshit is, okay, so with calling people out on your bullshit, what it does, right, it's an empowering thing. It can be a scaring thing. Like you said, Amanda, too, you've been speaking your truth after years of holding back, and it's feeling great not holding things in, right? When we hold things in, it shuts us down energetically. What it also does is it takes us off alignment to our life path, our life purpose, our entire life. Because if you can imagine these little bits being shut down and, oh, we better put on this mask because we need to be accepted by this person, well, then we're kind of going into their truth, not your truth. Not living what's real for you and what your heart is actually saying, right? So I'm going to share an experience that, you know, I just had, but it was interesting because, as I said, after, you know, filming this morning, and that was, you know, I've been up since 3:30 this morning because we filmed a sunrise shoot. And it was like, you know, when we had coffee and we're debriefing, and it was, like I said, there's been 3 specific things that have been still sitting in my heart, and I was like, oh, I thought I dealt with that, but it's just the remnants coming out. I was like, oh, that's interesting, right? We are in Mercury retrograde as well, so that's when reviewing the past comes up too. So it's all kind of, you know, as I pulled a card on it earlier on divine order, Archangel Raguel. Everything is how it needs to be right now. Look past the illusion to see the underlying order. I was like, okay. So I was talking to Jay this morning after our Lightfilled Yoga filming, and I was like, oh, this is interesting, those 3 things. So I took a day to a homeschooling event this morning, which was really awesome to do, and then came home and I was just like really tired. I actually had to do some shopping, and just in the shopping center I was just like, oh, and I could feel, because one, I haven't had much sleep because I've been awake filming, and I was conscious of that, and I'm like, okay, I'm really sensitive in my energy field right now, and I'm in a shopping center that's busy as because it's Christmas, and I was just aware of that. And then I got out of the shops and I was just like, okay, all right, and I just started crying in the car, and I said to Dad, I've just got to get this out, and I just kind of let myself drop into it for a minute, because I know those 3 things, the remnants still sitting there, but it was also just that I'm tired, and all this energy of people in the shops, and, you know, like, and that's why I say, keep your self-care up, sleep, etc., etc. And, you know, and if you're not, well, then be mindful that you're not, and know that that's, you know, what's going on too. So we got home, and I was like, I was going to go down the beach, and I'm like, you know what, I just need to lie down and close my eyes for a bit. So I did, right? And a day I watched The Lion King, and I lay there with her while she watched The Lion King, and I just rested. And then I was like, okay, and then I kind of stirred after a bit and had my little power nap, even though I didn't nap, but it was just enough just to close my eyes and just process a bit of what was going on for me. And then I was like, okay, got up, hung some washing out, and then I'm like, okay, I need to get some food, and I had to go down the shop because I felt like avocados with my lunch. So I went down the shop, and I bumped into somebody. I'm seeing those comments. I'll answer them in a moment. We'll speak to them in a moment. And I was in the shops and getting my fruit and my veggies, and this person comes up who I haven't had a very close relationship, but we've had a close enough relationship, especially a professional working relationship. And I realized maybe close to 2 months ago that I'd actually blocked me on Facebook, and I was like, okay, that's interesting. Like, didn't know you had that much stuff around it. That's okay. No worries. And I didn't have any qualms with her at all. And I was like, oh, hey. And then she went to give me a hug, and I was like, so you block me on Facebook, but you want to give me a hug? And it was just like this thing of like, for me, that didn't feel right. I was like, if you've got issues with me, fine, but don't pretend that you don't when you see my face. And I posted this on Facebook not too long ago about the vaccination stuff. Don't sit there and be a keyboard warrior and have a big go at me and rip me to shreds. And then when you see me in the street, either ignore me or be two-faced about things. I'm like, if you've got stuff going on about me, you know, don't pretend that you're my friend if you've got issues and then block me and pretend it's all fine. I'm like, for me personally, and I mean, that's her truth. That's fine. That's her truth. What resonates with me and my truth and what my heart is about, like, that's not authentic to me. Like, if you seriously have issues with somebody, communication is everything, right? If you don't want that person in your life, that's fine. For me, trying to understand why you would be kind and friendly, like, that's fine. Yeah, be kind and friendly. Maybe it was just because we've seen each other in the shops in a public place. But honestly, haven't spoken to her for months, you know, and I know there's some stuff that, you know, kind of went on, but I felt in my truth and my heart that that was not my stuff. I didn't need to, you know, when you get to that point when there's nothing that you can say or do to somebody, and it's kind of a pointless way, or, you know, it's why I always say, focus on what you want rather than trying to convince somebody, or it's just like, why would you, right? But for me, it was very much around that space of like, you know, why would you, and she said, well, I can speak to you how I want. And I said, well, yeah, you can. And that's the truth. That is honestly the truth for me. And I was like, well, you know, if you've got issues with me or you block me on Facebook, but then, you know, want a hug, I'm like, that, for me, it didn't make sense. And that's probably the biggest thing, you know, I was just trying to make sense of it, ultimately. But, you know, I have had some experiences in the past probably 2 years through a particular community here where I know that I've been bitched about behind my back and, you know, been fine in front of my face, actually a couple of communities. And, you know, it's fine if you've got issues with somebody, but, you know, gossiping is, you know, or bitching about somebody and then, you know, yeah, I'd call bullshit onto that too. Yeah, and that's the thing. And I was just like, you know, for me it didn't make sense. And, you know, and she was right. Yeah, I can speak to you how I want to. And I said, yeah, you can. I said, but it doesn't make sense to me, you know, block me on Facebook and then, you know, want to be kind to me. And she said, well, that's just your trigger. And I said, well, it's actually two-faced. Like, I don't, you know, there's a lot of two-faced people around here. And I was like, whoops, I can't believe that just came out of my mouth. And I still can't really believe that came out of my mouth. But ultimately, that's, you know, it was on the spot. It came out and it is authentic. And, you know, and that's why I called the, you know, the live stream, like the power of the throat chakra. Like, I guess the significance for me is the fact that we just did the throat chakra this morning. And the other, you know, part, and then because that's open, the heart has come out. And this is the very important point that I want you to take on board right now, okay? Because if we are 100% creating our reality 100% of the time, that was me that created that situation. I take full responsibility for creating and attracting that situation. Let me explain to you why I attracted that. Let me explain to you why I created that. So if you only just joining my live stream, you want to watch the whole live stream to understand this. But with doing the Lightfilled Yoga for the throat this morning, cleared that out. Now we're in the heart. Like I said, debriefing with Jay after we're done filming, we went and had a coffee, and like, you know, I named 3 particular incidents and 3 particular people that I was like, oh, there's still stuff in my heart I didn't know that was still there. And, you know, I could feel I had stuff, and there was another reason why I was kind of really tired today too, because I was holding that emotion in. So when I, you know, got home and had that cry, or at the shops and had that little bit of a cry, and then it was like came home and, you know, just had to lie down, close my eyes, and I was actually just processing it all. And, you know, as I said, though, I was like, oh, there's remnants in there, right? So me bumping into that particular person in the shop was the remnants sitting in my energy field, hence attracting that. I could have called into that fruit shop on the way home after we'd been out all day. Rather, I actually had a sleep, just did what I felt like doing, and then I went down. I was like, I feel like avocados. Like, I don't need them. I felt like them, so I went and got avocados to put on there. Because that remnant of that energy, of that perhaps unresolved stuff, or maybe it's actually my pain. Okay, here it is. It's my pain for her blocking me on Facebook. Yeah, I've been sad about that, and I'll own that. I'll show my hand to that. You know, I don't know what I did to her for her to block me. Obviously, I've said something. Obviously, some of my actions in my past don't resonate with her truth, and she's gone and blocked me. That's fine. However, she's never said a word to me. But I know that her and another person have been bitching about me behind my back. That's fine. That's fine. That's really none of my business, but I feel that energetically. And that has hurt me. That has hurt me to be shunned out of a community, and it's actually not the first time it's happened, right? And I've come into deep acceptance in the past 3 months especially that my gift and, you know, what I'm here for is to change the world in a hugely dramatic way, and I'm dead set, so clear about that that I am a new thought leader and people are going to get fucking triggered as fuck. And I've come to really accept that. I've really come to accept that. And, you know, and only in the past 3 months, and that's why everything has shifted. My business has gone boom, right? Because I've come into deep authenticity in owning what my purpose is, in owning my gift, in really stepping into my power, right? And, you know, really, really owning that has everything shifted. And the people who are not in authentic alignment have fallen away. And yes, that has made me sad, because some of those people I thought were different, I thought were, I don't know, obviously not in alignment. That's fine. That's fine. So if you're just joining the live stream, you need to rewatch it, because I'm not going to explain the whole thing again. So I'm just going to check these comments. There's a couple of comments coming through. Kylie says, hey babes, love what you're saying. So true. I'm totally with you on it. Just not as good as I should be. But this week I'm not talking the talk. Great feeling. Yeah. And there's a difference, you know, and like what happened in that incident is, you know, like that just literally came out of my mouth. Like, you know, and honestly, I damn well know it. I damn well know it, that if that remnants wasn't still sitting in my heart, that bit of sadness that I actually hadn't acknowledged, that actually I'm really fucking hurt about that person doing that, because I didn't think we had issues between us. Apparently we do. You know, and that's what's hurt me. You know, I'm like, if people have an issue with me and they're not brave enough, have the courage, or want to say it to my face and block me and bitch behind my back, but then when they see me in the street will pretend like nothing's going on. I'm sorry, but I'm not that person. I don't pretend. I can't. You know, if that's how my authentic heart feels, well, you know, I don't care if we're not going to be friends. Like, we weren't really friends. It was a business professional relationship, you know. And it's like, you know, if that, you know, if we didn't resonate, that's fine. But don't go and block me and have issues about it and then pretend everything is fine in the shops. You know, like, you know, just ignore me. I'd rather you ignore me. If you're going to block me on Facebook because you didn't like what I'm about, that's fine. Don't pretend that everything's fine in the shops. So, people who do that who are weak. I don't like to judge people like that. You know, like, what she's doing, what she's doing is living her complete truth. That's all she is doing. People who do that, they're just, and phonies, you know, that's a judgment on us. If we were going to say, well, you're weak, you're a phony, what's that doing? Yeah? What she's doing is living her truth. Everybody has their truth. Some people are more connected to their authentic truth and have the courage to voice the real truth about a situation. Some people don't have the courage to voice the situation, so they'll shut down that little bit because of whatever reason. Kind of not our responsibility, none of our business, ultimately. But what she's doing is just living her truth. Doesn't mean that my heart doesn't get hurt. Because I have a big fucking heart. You know? So, alright, I'll just check these comments. Oh yeah, so that's what you were saying about talking the talk. So yeah, and I was going to say something else to that, but maybe I said what I said. Charlie, thanks. Excuse me, I don't always feel like that at times. Alright, so Benjamin says, I always speak the truth whether people like it or not. Yeah, okay, so that's where I was coming into, you know, like, there's kind of 3 different ways to talk, walk the talk and speak the truth, right? There's a really blunt, asshole, arrogant way. There's a way of, like, authentically empathizing with the other person, hence she's just living her truth. Nobody's right or wrong here. Nobody. She's living her truth, I'm living my truth. It just so happens that those truths are bumping up against each other, just in complete different alignment. That's all. No right or wrong, no judgment, no nothing. The third truth is that you don't need to say a fucking word at all. Because your vibration, your power, your deep connection to your own authentic truth, to your life purpose, to your body, to focusing on what you do want, rather than getting into the drama and trying to change people, and like, I speak about this all the time. Don't need to say a word. You just live your truth. It's probably the most powerful way. But when stuff like that happens, I won't not say, like I said, like, it's not like I'd been planning that. Like, I didn't even, you know, like, that just happened. That's what came out of my heart. It's what came out of my heart. And for me, you know, and that's, okay. Oh, thanks for listening and letting me share, because this is how me, you know, process that. That, you know, when I enter into a relationship with somebody, there's this, and then there's this. But because I've come into deep acceptance that I've got a very big life purpose, and whatever I'm here for, I don't know, whatever it is, I've come into realization that I will trigger people. Especially in personal relationships, especially in any relationships, right? And when I even start a fresh relationship with anyone, doesn't mean to be intimate, it could be business, could be anyone. And it's all fine, and then I might trigger them and I don't even realize. and then again, that's when that shuts down. They're like, oh, they get triggered or whatever it is like that. And then so they shut that down. And then they put on, this is exactly what I was saying, and then they put on this mask, and it's like, well, I better not say that part because of whatever reason. And then I feel a discord. I'm like, well, something's not right here. They're saying that, but I'm not getting that feeling. That's where the discord comes in. And for me personally, my bullshit factor, since really owning my purpose, has gone through the roof. My intuition has gone sky high, clearer than I've ever experienced in my entire life. And you know, I don't have a need to sit there and try and change people or, you know, tell them how it is, because that's not my job. This is not my job. My job is to completely align with my life purpose and create what I'm here to create, to help birth a new earth, right? That's what I'm here for. So when you say, what did you say there? Yeah, so you can be pretty bold in that. And, you know, and that comes with the learning. I mean, I used to be like that. And then I realized that I hurt a lot of people's feelings. So I don't do that anymore. And like I said, I just focus on what I'm here for. Because it's more powerful than that energy of, right? I fully agree with that. People need to learn to speak the truth and be aware of the truth. Yeah, that's what I was saying. So, you know, it comes with, you know, I pick it up so quickly now. And, you know, I guess that I've really come into a sense of like, for me personally, what I'm creating in my life and what I want in my life. So yes, we've got a life purpose, we've got a destiny, blah, 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 but we're co-creators. If we don't step up and create that too, then, you know, it's a co-creation. We're physical and we're spiritual. There's spiritual and a physical world. We need to do both, right? So it's a co-creation. And for me, what I've come into deep alignment with, you know, as I said, in the past 3 months, I've really stepped into my power, into my worth, you know, and owning my gift and realizing what I'm here for. Finally, crystal clear about that. It's like, I don't have time or energy to do that stuff anymore, but you don't need to. And what I want in my life, what I am choosing in my life, is authentic relationships where people can speak the truth from their heart and know that, you know, they're gonna, you know, be received, whether I like it or not. I smell, what is it, non-authenticity from a mile away. And I don't have time for it. I'm too busy for that. So, you know, and it takes time to get really clear about what you want. And it takes time to be strong in protecting what you want. Yeah? Not from a, like, oh, I better not let it come in. It's like, oh, no, this is actually what I want. And when you realize that your true power comes from focus, so if you're focusing what you want, well, then you're just going to start attracting it. And whatever remnants need to be cleared out, trust yourself that when you fully align, you'll start clearing out all of that that's not in alignment anymore. Even the remnants that are energetically sitting there, they'll go effortlessly. Trust it. Yes, you have, Charlize, me. I'll speak about attracting your tribe too. You call bullshit to that. Okay, I'm just going to read these comments because I need to catch up on them. Okay, not surprised you are real and truthful to yourself. Don't ever change that, my friend. Thank you. Just went through losing 5 supposed true friends and I have no idea Why? Except my husband not passing fast enough. Now I realize it was not a loss. Yes. So, so your husband passed and you lost friends. Okay, so I just want to speak to that too. Like when you align, and I've noticed that in the past maybe 3 weeks to 3 to 5 weeks, maybe the past 2 months, there's been like another big clearing out. Like, you know, we had that eclipse at the end of August, and you know, when you go through like spiritual development and personal growth and everything like that, and you shift gears, right, you shift into a new vibration and people fall away out of your life. I've noticed that a lot of people are going through that again, you know, in the past 5 to 6 weeks. There's been a lot of like shedding of what's no longer in alignment when we actually thought it was, but then we're like, oh, actually it wasn't. Okay. And you know, and it doesn't mean that you don't feel sad, doesn't mean that you don't have normal human emotions and feel grief, but you know, like they're very real and very important to acknowledge them, so then they shift out of your field. Yeah, I know the feeling. Okay, as you know, I've been through this as well not long ago, but they cannot touch us. Truth will always prevail. Yeah, and it's just really, you know, looking into, you know. And that's why, you know, if we look at the truth of the shadow and the truth of living authentically, it's like that's the key to it. It's like, well, you know, I could sit there and like you know, like I just explained before, like, oh, she's weak because she didn't speak a truth. And it's like, well, no, actually, most society's like that. It's just, they're just living their truth, right? You live your truth, and that's why you never make a wrong decision in your life ever. So, you know, people get psychic readings from me and I'm like, I don't know if I've made a wrong decision. And it's like, well, do you know what, honey? You cannot make a wrong decision. There's no such thing as wrongness. Wrongness comes from somebody else's opinion that you're carrying, okay? This is this shutdown. Here we go, right? So you speak up. And then someone says, oh no, and you're like, oh, okay, I better not do that because I'm going to be rejected by this person. So I'll put on this mask, be like, oh yeah, okay, cool, and I agree with you, and let's keep going, right? Because you shut that down, and we do this subconsciously. Like, this is not, most of the time it's not a conscious choice until we become conscious of it, and then we're like, oh, right? And this is the thing about awakening and spiritual growth and consciousness, and you know, nobody is wrong or right. Everybody is just living their truth. And you know, if you've attracted a situation like that, and this is what I was talking about in the blog yesterday, and you know, it's like, you know, I attracted that situation because I was still carrying that remnants in my heart, that energy. And I wrote this in the blog yesterday about the iceberg. When you go along and then, you know, you subconsciously, personal development, growth, whatever it is, your soul goes, okay, cool, you're ready to deal with this next thing, right? Because if you're working on raising your vibration, well, the stuff that's not in that vibration of alignment, that's, you know, where you're heading to or whatever that is, then that will need to come out. So, you know, like I attracted that situation, you know, to, I guess, finalize that, you know, who knows what will happen now, but I was like, okay, yeah, cool. That's why I was feeling it all this morning, right? Just clear my throat and now straight into that. Okay, perfect timing, going through something similar right now, Christina. Yeah, sending lots of love to you. Honest. Okay. Kylie says, might be your pain, babe, but that doesn't give anyone the right to bitch about you behind your back. Well, to be honest, I mean, that's an energetic feeling that I've had. Whether they've physically, you know, I mean, I've got no proof of that. But I'm not stupid. I'm so friggin' tuned in. I feel it, you know what I mean? And then when situations happen like that and they block me and I'm like, oh, right, yeah, I was feeling that, right? Or they randomly turn up in my feed and, you know, like, I don't know if you know, but when you've looked on somebody's profile, you know, they come up in your feed, you know, like, or you turn up in their feed, sort of thing, at the top of your feed. So, you know, it's interesting, not always, but well, that's my intuition on that again. And it just confirms for me, I'm like, oh yeah, that's, okay, cool, thanks for that confirmation, right? That's what I mean, like, trust yourself. You may or may not get confirmation, but trust yourself anyway. So yeah, so I had to walk away from a convo that someone was trying to have with me about someone because it was just stupid and rude. So yeah, I walked off. Not going to listen to shit. Yeah, and that's the thing, you know, like, and that's the thing. It's like we get to a level in our consciousness or our personal development or whatever you want to call it, that we grow out of that. We grow out of gossiping, we grow out of that, and we realize that we attract every single situation to ourselves, and when we do, we take ultimate responsibility for our life and ourselves, and that's where the shadow work comes in, you know, like, you know, if I wasn't where I am now, maybe I would have, you know, had a bitch about it or something like that, but ultimately she was just living her truth and speaking her truth. That was her truth for her to come up to me and want to give me a hug. That was not my truth to not to be fake about the real reality of the situation, you know. Like, I guess my business name is Reality Awareness for a reason, right? And people don't like that. People get uncomfortable about it, and I guess that's why people end up blocking me. I mean, I always say, if you don't like what I'm about and you're following me on Facebook, why are you still following me? You know, like, I do say that. I do say that, right? But there's a difference between blocking somebody and unfriending somebody, in my personal opinion, because I know when I've blocked people, I've been pissed off, right? So, yeah, and again, that's just my opinion. Maybe that's not her truth. Who knows, right? It still hurt my feelings, and I can be sad about that. And like I said, it's not the first time in a community that this has happened to me. So I'm getting, you know, not getting used to it, but just realizing who my true friends are, and realizing that the more that I align with my life purpose, the more that I am authentic, then the people who are not authentic will drop away and they will rear their heads, so that I can see, oh yeah, cool, I get that now. Yep, that makes sense that I'm not in alignment with that. Truth and karma. So it does hurt, especially if they are close, but at the same time, universe helps you to filter who is true and who the shifty ones are. Yeah, and that's what I mean. And when you say some people aren't open to the truth and don't truly honor you. Yeah, because, you know, especially if you follow me, you're probably, you know, in that same boat, that, you know, it's that we... And the thing is that I've gone through my intimate personal relationships is that, you know, I'm just being 100% me, saying what I do, being who I am, and that triggers the fuck out of people. And I don't realize, I'm very clued onto it now because I've been through enough shit in the past 12 months. Fucking, oh my God, right? And I'm like, now I can turn around and go, thank you so much. Right? Wasn't like that in the start though. I was very hurt, very upset, and going, what did I do? Of course, you never do anything wrong, but you know, you go through these normal human emotions. And I just realized that because of who I am and what I do for work and, you know, what I'm here for, it's like I do trigger people. And, you know, especially in personal relationship, if they're not ready to step up and grow, well, that's fine, you know, like, it's just not going to work. So I'm very clear what I want and what I need in personal relationship too now, and I ain't doing anything less than that again. That's, again, another one of my, you know, it's got to be authentic, and I can feel the difference, and yeah. Oh my God, I just got it. Maybe that's blocked chakra for 60 years, why hubby is sick there. Yeah, in a throat or in the heart? I think I've spoken to you about this. Hey, Charlize. I'm just going through these comments. Erin says, John says I usually go with 3. Not sure what you're talking about there. You don't speak either. So my friends have not been friends to me lately. They haven't even checked on me with my past trauma. But with your help, my son, and my own strength, I'm paying more attention to me. Yeah, yeah. And, you know, and that's the thing, you know, like people, especially, you know, with an event like you've just had, Erin, you know, it's like people be there at the start and then they get back on with their normal lives, and that's just kind of sad reality of the situation. But as you're saying there, you're paying more attention to you with your own strength, you know, like that's the gift ultimately that they're giving you, and that, you know, your deceased partner is given you, or has given you, you know, is that finding you, is your inner strength, is, you know, awakening to what you are, you know, like if you look at the gift out of the situation, out of every situation there's always a gift. And you know, that's the reality of the throat, when we can stop going like this at anyone or anything or anything, and we actually go, okay, why am I reflecting this? Why am I attracting this? What's going on in me that, you know, is calling this, you know? And for me personally, you know, as I just say that, you know, if I didn't have those, I think it was 3 times I spoke about it. One after Lightfilled Yoga this morning with Jay, you know, as I said, at the coffee shop. And then I actually texted her about it later because I was like, you know, I was just like crying out of the shop. I'm like, what's going on? And then, you know, I was just like, oh, like just all of that. And then there was something else as well. It was like 3 times. And then I bumped into her in the shop. And if I had bumped into her in the shop without having those 3 times, you know, like in the space of what, less than 6 hours or something, maybe I wouldn't be so clear about what's going on for me. But because I'm so grateful that, you know, I've just done the Throat Chakra Lightfilled Yoga this morning, which, by the way, I'm so excited because, you know, like, we're getting closer. We're not getting closer. Well, yeah, there's 9 classes to film in total. And, you know, we've just done, well, now we've done crown, third eye, ears and throat. And now we'll be filming heart next, probably early next year. And, you know, like, to have these Lightfilled Yoga classes available, like, they're so powerful to do yoga with the light-filled awareness of each chakra and the consciousness that it brings, because what you're doing is you're grounding that into your body and, you know, living your truth, right? It's so powerful, and, you know, it's kind of like it has to be experienced to realize the power of it. So that will be available too, by the way, probably within the next 2 weeks maximum. There's already crown, third eye and ears there. So the Lightfilled Yoga membership is open at the moment too, and that's it's $27, you know, per month. That's a monthly membership, and as long as you're paying that, you get access to all the classes. If it's calling to you, I just felt called to say this because it is open, and it will be grandfathered, that price, which means that if there's ever a price rise in the future, which there will be at some point, then yeah, they're online now, Christina, and, you know, I know that I'll be doing, you know, in-person retreats around the world. It's always been my dream, you know, to do that, and it's happening very soon. So just getting everything online, and then, you know, I'll be going out to the world again in that sense. So yeah, so the Lightfilled Yoga, if it calls to you, you know, that is available right now. So, but it is an experience, and it is powerful, the Lightfilled Yoga. Okay, I'm just excited because it's been a long time doing. You're welcome, Louise. Okay, so they often say the fools talk and the wise ones are silent. Yes, exactly. I think that is a good approach to dealing with people that have a truth that is what others would consider double-faced or shallow. Yeah, and that's the thing, you know, like, if people, you know, have that too, it's when you think that about somebody, it's looking at that aspect of yourself. Because remember, whatever we're judging in somebody else, that's what we feel about ourselves, you know, and that's why it's about being silent. Yes, do get some sleep, Erin, you know, and that's why, you know, the wise ones are silent, because of the fact that it's not about you. Whatever comes out of somebody's mouth is not about you at all. You reclaim your power when you can really tap into that truth, and you don't need to say a word at all. Don't need to say anything. It's what's coming out of that person's mouth. So if I look at that, I'm like, okay, well, I said it was two-faced, like, to her, for her to come up to me and say, you know, and be all nice, but actually she blocked me on Facebook a while ago, and I'm like, well, yeah, like, for me, and that's just me being hurt. And then it's like, okay, well, if I called her two-faced out of the blue, like, that just came out of my mouth, and I never say those kind of things, ultimately. It's like, okay, well, where have I been two-faced in my life? You know, if I'm really reclaiming my shadow and really stepping into my heart and really reclaiming my power and myself, where have I been two-faced in the past that I need to reclaim that? Because if she's my shadow, and that's what's going on in my situation in my life, for me to really heal that issue is about me reclaiming the part of me that feels like that's two-faced or inauthentic. Where have I been inauthentic in my life, right? Many times have I been inauthentic, right? And I'm at a point now where I'm like, oh yeah, I have. So this is me shifting to the next level of my consciousness in really looking at that and going, okay, if I look at all these times that I've been inauthentic in my life to other people, and how I've hurt other people in my inauthenticness, in me not speaking my truth to that person, then that is why we would carry guilt in a relationship, in any other way, is because we've been inauthentic, and we're carrying guilt because we know that on whatever level, when we should have said no, but we said yes. And then we carry guilt because we've got to be there for them or whatever, but it's out of guilt, right? And then resentment builds up and blah, blah, blah. Thank you for letting me share, because this is big. To really, you know, if we're looking at shadow work and integrating it, that's exactly what that's about, is me integrating the part of me that I've rejected, because now I'm stepping into my authentic truth and living my purpose, and that's why everything's just gone boom for me, because I've really owned and claimed that authentic part of who I am, and living that and choosing to create these people around me that are only authentic. Well, then I've disowned that disauthentic part of me. And this is what happens, right? We live apart. This is shadow work. We live apart. Then we become conscious that we're living that. We're like, oh shit, I better not do that anymore. No, I want to be this person. So we disown it. And then everything in our life that is that we've disowned will turn up in our reality, because we're like, hey, right? And then it's about turning to that. This is the subconscious, this is the darkness, this is integrating humanity in the darkness, and turning to that, forgiving it, and, you know, reclaiming that part of yourself. Reflection, exactly. So, you know, and so I'm actually really grateful now, and thank you for letting me share, and that's the power of the throat chakra, speaking, living your truth, and integrating the shadow, right? There's a prime real life example right there for you, that integrating the shadow, because that is how we move to the next level of our consciousness. So I'm actually a bit fucking excited now. You've just let me share all that with you, because, you know, like if we look at, you know, like I said, I just did Lightfilled Yoga for the throat, so the energy is open for the heart, so all the energies are allowing the heart to now go, oh, okay, what do we need to shift out of here that's not in authentic truth anymore, right? And these little bits are the parts that need to be integrated back into myself, that if I'm still holding hurt, well, I've still got issues around that situation. And so me stepping up to the next level of my consciousness is reclaiming these parts of myself instead of disowning them. Yeah? All right, let me check these comments here. Because I've missed some. Well, I haven't missed them, I just haven't got to them because I'm talking. Okay. Oh no, they disappeared. I find it funny when people tell me to breathe. Like, it's like telling someone to calm down. Like, it doesn't work. Noticing what I'm bringing up when you... When I get in flow. Okay. Exactly, Christina. People who no longer align with us will fall away and make space for the people who are meant to be in our lives. And I call these spaces transitions. I've been through many of them in my life. I think some people have a hard time speaking their truth. Oh, whole of society. I'm learning the hard way to stay quiet when I need to, because the Brazilian in me just wants to come out and fight. Yeah, and you know, in that anger and fighting energy is like a defense, but it's showing you what's important to you too. Yeah, so when you flip it around to that sense of what is, if something's making you angry, they've crossed your boundaries, which is your value system, which is what's important to you and how you create your life. It just depends whether you want to stay in that or work towards what you want. Yeah. Haven't met any real people yet. So, okay, so calling in your tribe and attracting people is something that you consciously create. So, you know, you can ask universe, angels, whatever you speak to, and really, you know, like, okay, I'm ready to meet more authentic people who are in alignment with my value system, who, you know, who 100% get me, you know, and this is something that you can journal about. This is something that you mantra in your head. This is something that you can put out to the universe and go, hey, when I'm curious who I'm going to meet today, right? And have that curiosity when you go out of the house every day, like, oh, I wonder who I'm going to meet in alignment today, and you know, what other amazing people who are changing the world, or whatever you want to say, you know, like, start thinking that way rather than feeling closed off. Start opening yourself up to possibilities of attracting people and situations into your life like that. Yeah. I'm the most sassy live spiritual person you've ever seen. Thanks. Yes, I used to do that now, and I can't fake it no more, Mars. Yeah, it gets to a point you just can't anymore. It just doesn't feel right. Open the third chakra and let the air deep down in be inspired. Third chakra. You're talking from the bottom up. Are you, Cass? Same way, just checking these comments. Hey, I see all these new people joining live. Don't think I don't see you. Thank you for saying hi. When I'm in my flow, I want to keep talking. Okay. Exactly what I needed to hear. Thank you. By the way, it's 2:44 a.m. here. Normally I'm sleeping. Spirit brought me here. You're very welcome. And this is the thing, right? It's like, you know, I have worked very hard to change my mindset around the people I'm attracting into my life, which is, you know, everything I'm saying on this live stream. And it's very much around that, you know, like I say to the universe, you know, please align me to people who, you know, are able to, who are ready to hear my message, right? Because for a long time there, and you know, that's why I'm so grateful for Facebook and, you know, these social media platforms where I can now just put my content and what I need to say and what's coming out of me out into the world. And I say to the universe and spirit, I say, send me the people who are ready to hear my message. Send the people who need my help and who are ready to hear my message and do the work and step up and change whatever. Like this is what, like, you know, if you're finding your way here, like I'm talking to spirit to tell them that I'm here. Do you know what I mean? Like it's like, you know, if those people are ready, let them find me, you know, and, you know, people find me. So it's about, you know, and that's a big trust in your intuition and yourself and, you know, creating authentic relationships and creating people who are in alignment with you and focusing on that rather than I don't have anyone or all these people are inauthentic or, you know, we go through phases, it's like, oh yeah, and then we go back and we're like, oh no, I'll stay over here, right? So yeah, thanks for sharing that, Betsy. Love hearing that. You won't say breathe. Yeah, it's just, it's interesting, you know, when people, several people, I think you said it too, Benjamin, before, about that. Oh, you said it too, Cass. Throat chakra. Yeah. When I get in my flows. Supermoon. You just said the other day, releasing from past relationships by wiping the emotional slate. Okay, yeah. And it's definitely that, you know, like the timing of the astrology. And I'm actually about to release my Heal Your Broken Heart mini course. It's a mini online course. It's only $19 because so many people have broken hearts and so much information that I need to share with them. So I've just created a mini course for you guys, whoever's called to it, of course, of how to heal your broken heart, even if you didn't want to let that person go, or, you know, or then you were the person who dumped that relationship and now you're doubting yourself, you know, because so many people have that space, you know, in their heart where even if it's a long time ago, they're still holding on to the grief, which is like I've just been sharing on this live stream, you know, like it sits in our energetic field. And like I you know, it's time does not heal wounds. Doing the work heals wounds, you know, because it'll just sit in your field otherwise. It's 7:40 a.m. there. Whereabouts are you, Sylvia? It's 10 to 6 here. 10 to 6 in the evening. So keep an eye out for my Heal Your Broken Heart mini course that's coming out next week. In Jersey in the UK. Ah, you're in the UK. Awesome. Awesome. So yeah, so Heal Your Broken Heart. If you'd like a psychic reading, they're open and I've got spaces available. It's 11:51 p.m. Whereabouts are you, John? Tell me where you're from. I've got these people around the world. Love having you here. And the 2018 psychic predictions are my main thing that I'm working with people on at the moment. So that's 12 individual audio recordings. So it's like having me for your oh, you're in Cali, having me for your personal guide for each month of the year next year, and those all get sent out at the same time unless you're on the payment plan. There is a payment plan option for that, and that is available now. So you want to get in fairly soon. We're in the 7th of December. I feel like we're way ahead in December already, but I'm like, it's not Christmas yet, but it feels very full and alive at the moment. So I'll just grab the link to share that for you. And thank you for being here and listening to my live stream today. And it sounds like I have helped a lot of people, and, you know, I feel grateful, you know, to that experience to happen, because was able to get on and share like real life, you know, example of the throat chakra, of shadow work, of integrating the shadow, and you know what happens when something is in your energetic field, that you will attract situations like that, you know, like that hurt, that, you know, I felt hurt because I didn't know what I'd done. I didn't know if I'd said something, like for me, the relationship was fine, you know, like we had a business professional relationship, and as far as I knew, I never had any issues with her and she never had any issues with me, but apparently maybe there was. Maybe I said something and, you know, I was unaware of that. And when I realized that she was blocked, well, you know, she blocked me. Well, that hurt my feelings because I didn't know what I had done. I still don't. You know, and it's what I've done is not almost, it's irrelevant ultimately, because I know I trigger a lot of people. A lot of people don't resonate with me, and that's fine. Not meant to be. You know, like we're all individual and unique for a reason. But I really appreciate you listening to me today and allowing me to share that real life example of shadow work at its core. So I'm just going to put this link in the comments for the 2018 psychic predictions. I spelled it wrong. Right, link is in the comments. Yeah, thanks for being here. So if you think this live stream can help somebody, please tag them in the comments or send it to them in a private message or share it on your page. If you're watching on YouTube, remember to subscribe. And yeah, let anybody know if you think it would hear them, if it would help them hear them. It would help them hear. I listen, we all will. Yeah, I'd rather hear the truth. Yeah, me too, because I feel it anyway. And then I get confused because I'm like, oh, you know, and that's when you start questioning your intuition, because you feel the inauthenticity, but they're saying something and you want to believe them, and so you do, but then you get all confused because you're like, well, something's going on here, and that's when we get all clouded and messed up energetically, right? But when we know what's going on energetically there, and, you know, it's why I teach Trust Intuition, is why I do all this stuff, because you do get clouded when you know, you want to believe that person, and you do, and then it just feels something's wrong, like something's not right here, right? It's that, the inauthenticity. So yeah, you too, Christina. Thanks everybody for joining me live. Remember, keeping it real as always. Lots of love. Namaste.